The mercenary younger brother was on a mission at the border, and I, as logistics personnel, went with him. Who knew my husband had his brave little lamb's secretary sneak along, to broaden her horizons. The day before the mission, my brother went through the routine equipment check. Selena frantically handed over the bulletproof vest. In the heat of the battle, a bullet pierced the vest, making a piercing sound. My brother, who should have been unharmed, crashed to the ground. I cut open the bulletproof vest only to find there were no ballistic plates inside, just a surfing vest. My brother's vital areas were bleeding profusely. By the time he reached the hospital, it was too late. Outside the emergency room, Lucas was embracing Selena, who was crying into her nose, softly comforting her. He glanced at me, his tone dismissive. "Don't be too sad. This way, he gets to retire honorably and gets a huge compensation. Your family's financially free. Just fill out the incident report. Just write that he was hit by a stray bullet during the mission." He thought it was my younger brother who died. I paused for a few seconds, then chuckled. "You should be the one signing this." Lucas frowned, a familiar look of annoyance in his eyes. "Serafina, you should learn to be grateful for what you have." I blocked the two who were about to leave, and said sternly, "She can't leave. She needs to explain this to Mom and Dad later." Hearing this, Lucas shoved me away. "What's there to explain? I know you people. You just want to use my position to get me to sign it, so you can get more compensation. Your parents are coming to try and bleed Selena dry again, aren't they? A family of money-losing parasites. A bottomless pit. In his eyes, I married him for money. And everyone knows that he's always loved Selena the most. But now lying in the emergency room is his own brother Julian. Julian was someone I watched grow up. Though he seemed gentle, he always looked up to his brother Lucas. This year he secretly became a mercenary against his family's wishes, saying he wanted to help his brother, who lost a leg in an earthquake, fulfill his dream and return Chin family army to its former glory. He was close to being promoted to captain and standing in front of Lucas. It's just a pity. Now I understand why Lucas was suddenly willing to let Selena do field work. He thought it was my younger brother. I got up from the ground and stood in front of them, arms outstretched. "I don't care about the compensation. I never thought about extorting money. The person lying inside is your brother. He admires you so much. He would definitely want you to send him off one last time. You should go see him." My kind reminder was only met with the man's ridicule. "My brother? My brother is studying abroad. You don't expect me to acknowledge your good-for-nothing brother, do you? Dream on. I shouldn't sign this and I won't sign it. Get out of the way." Selena looked up at him with tears in her eyes. "Brother Lucas, Serafina's sister is having a hard time. Why don't you sign it for her?" Selena's words were like gentle needles. Lucas immediately lost his temper. He hesitated for a moment, then signed the form and threw the consent form at me, looking disgusted. "Don't let this happen again." I trembled as I looked at the word deserter written on the form. If Julian saw it in heaven, it would hurt him deeply. Julian's hopeful eyes before he left home flashed in my mind, and I felt very bad. My knuckles turned white as I gripped the form. "Lucas, you'll regret this." Lucas didn't care and sneered. "If I knew back then that it was your father who killed my father, I would never have married you, Serafina. Your family deserves everything you have now." He took Selena's hand and leaned in to whisper in my ear. "Your stupid brother actually thought I was training him?" My pupils constricted, and I froze. My brother had been following him since he was a child, facing life and death. I thought he really thought highly of my brother, but I didn't expect it was all premeditated. He had been waiting for this result for 10 years. Selena glanced at me and raised her voice. "Brother Lucas, didn't you say there was someone important you wanted me to meet? Who is it?" "My brother, a financial genius, is returning home today." Looking at the pride that Lucas was overflowing with, I suddenly became curious. If he knew that the person he personally killed today was Julian, what would his expression be? Suddenly, there was a commotion in the hall, and Lucas's men hurried over. "Boss, there's a woman yelling to see Selena, saying she wants her to pay for her life. She's very emotional, saying she's your mother, That's absurd. My mom is retired in Norway." After saying that, he slanted a cold glance at me. The two who had been so eager to leave suddenly sat down and crossed their legs. Hello? I want to report a crime. There's a woman here suspected of extortion. The location is... Mr. Han, help me prepare the documents. I want to file a lawsuit. I clenched my fists, and a chill rose in my heart. Lucas, you killed your own brother to promote this fox spirit, and now you want to turn against your own mother for her sake? Are you even human? As soon as Selena heard this, she looked pitiful again, pursed her lips and wailed. Serafina, sister, how can you say that about me? If I hadn't persuaded Lucas' brother, he wouldn't have given you compensation at all. Besides, the person lying inside is your brother. You killed your own brother. How can you blame it on me and Lucas' brother? Aren't you where you are today because of Lucas' brother? Why are you targeting me at every turn? She spoke loudly, and the doctors and nurses nearby heard her and looked over. This hospital has been cooperating with the Chun family for many years, and the medical staff inside know Julian. Hearing this, they were all confused. But looking at Lucas's gloomy face, everyone swallowed their words. At this time, Lucas's men reported again. Boss, we drove the woman out according to your instructions, but she suddenly vomited blood and fainted. Do you want us to? Do what? Treat her? I hired the world's top doctors. How can I waste them on treating that kind of person? Drive her away immediately. The men hurried away. I was a little worried, so I told the nurses next to me to help check on her. Lucas was determined to protect Selena. I didn't want to get involved, but Julian has always regarded me as his own sister. And my mother-in-law has always taken great care of me and our family. I can't sit idly by. An elderly doctor next to me also spoke up. Mr. Chun, I understand your mother's situation. Her condition is very bad. She can't withstand the shock. Why don't you go see her? Lucas gave him a glare, and the doctor looked embarrassed and closed his mouth. I said, that's not my mom. That's a blackmailing venomous woman, a leech. The doctor couldn't save his life, which means he was destined to die. What compensation is there to talk about? Besides, she personally sent her son to me in the first place. Am I wrong for helping her raise her son for free? Before I could speak, Selena immediately took over, crying and making a scene on the ground. She scattered bank cards and cash all over the place. Sister, I beg you, don't force me. I really only have this much money. As an assistant, I've been doing everything according to your instructions. Now you've killed someone. How can you blame it on me? Is it because Lucas' brother loves me, and you're jealous of me that you want to drive me to a dead end? After this performance, everyone gathered around, discussing in a hubbub. There's always this kind of medical troublemaker who ruins the hospital's atmosphere. My son is also a doctor. He was extorted by this kind of person a few days ago. Yeah, at such a young age, why not do something good? Coming to the hospital to fake an injury. You're truly heartless. Tui. She even killed her own brother, so cruel. Lucas looked at my bruised and swollen face, raised an eyebrow with contempt, and his shoulders twitched slightly. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to remain rational. Lucas, if the one who died inside today was your own brother, and the one who was kicked out was your own mother, would you be so calm? Of course. Lucas spread his hands, stood up, and faced the crowd. I unconditionally trust the doctors, I trust the law. I would never disrupt hospital rules for my own selfish desires, frame a doctor, or fake an injury everywhere. Serafina, you should be arrested. Fueled by his words, the emotions of the crowd were stirred up. At that moment, a message came from my subordinate that my mother-in-law had been taken to the emergency room and was in critical condition. I couldn't be bothered to argue with the two of them any longer. Julian's body was wheeled out covered in a white sheet. Family member, do you want to cremate immediately or? Before the nurse could finish, Lucas coldly interrupted. Deserters should be treated according to the rules for deserters. I will never allow such a person to enter my Chun family army's tomb. Serafina, what do you think? The medical staff present were once again stunned. They had long heard that Lucas doted on Selena to the point of obsession, but they never imagined he could be so ruthless to his own family. It was simply favoring a concubine over his wife, utterly immoral. But since we were husband and wife after all, I'll reluctantly get him his own furnace. It can also be considered leaving your family a memento. How's that? I looked at Julian's body, feeling it was so unworthy for him. Tears still flowed uncontrollably. I spoke. Whatever, just don't regret it. Seeing my pain, Lucas seemed to be in a good mood, his tone slightly lifted. Nothing could make me regret things more than marrying you, Serafina. You should thank me. With that, he picked up Selena and walked through the crowd. After I got off work, the hospital staff called me to say that Julian's body had been taken away. I softly replied that I understood. But after a long time, I received a call from the crematorium. Ms. Sue, your scheduled cremation time of 20 to 2100 hours is about to expire. Have you arrived yet? I quickly became alert. I contacted the hospital and learned that the body had been taken away by Selena. According to hospital surveillance footage, Selena and a man went into the morgue laughing and talking. The man lifted the white sheet covering Julian and examined him closely, even taking pictures and recording videos. I saw Selena's hand gesturing in the air towards Julian's groin, then laughing loudly with the man she was with. They shamelessly joked about Julian's body, touching it at will. He really does have a rare physique, it's a pity but not really a pity. The man nodded in satisfaction, took out a black bag and stuffed Julian into it, then stuffed a bag of money to Selena. Now my daughter will have a companion in the afterlife. A doctor behind them said timidly, "Is this really okay? Will it really not be discovered?" Selena abandoned her obedient appearance, her face turning sinister. Right now, should you be more afraid of being discovered, or more afraid of your father lying in the hospital bed, spending money like water, and who could die at any moment? If you want to make money, keep your mouth shut, or else. Selena's gaze fell eerily on Julian, pausing for a few seconds. The doctor quickly shook his head in terror. "Don't worry, I will definitely not say anything." Seemingly to show his loyalty, the doctor struggled to help the man carry Julian out the door. Perhaps it was coincidence, perhaps it was provocation. Selena looked up at the surveillance camera as she passed it, a faint smile playing on her lips. The video ended, and the hospital suddenly plunged into darkness. After a brief panic, the screen lit up again. But the contents of the surveillance footage were all gone. My hand trembled as I dialed Lucas's number. 1 call, 2 calls. Both were immediately hung up, until I ran to the roadside and got into Lucas's company car. The familiar ringtone sounded from the driver's seat. Lucas looked at me with a smile in the rearview mirror. He waved his phone, laughing lightly. "How is it?" "Selena thought of a good plan. Now you can earn a fortune again." I looked at the black bag he handed over, which was half the size, and asked, filled with anger, "Lucas, where was my brother sent?" Lucas patted the dust off the bag, put it back in place, and said in a cold tone, "Sent to a place where he won't suffer, won't have to worry about food and clothing, and of course, won't need any dignity. Your brother was mischievous and caused trouble everywhere since he was a child. His death can contribute to your mother's medical expenses. That's also filial piety, don't you think?" My heartbeat quickened, and my body trembled violently. During these years when Chin's mother was ill, the two brothers supported each other. My brother even gave up his doctoral degree and a promising future abroad for the sake of his brother. Now that he's dead, he has to be squeezed dry of every last drop of blood. "You bastard!" I grabbed his neck. "Take me to find him. Let him have a proper burial." Lucas, who was usually hot-tempered, was not angry. Instead, he smiled with a look of satisfaction. Then he looked painful and remorseful. "Serafina, calm down. I know this is not the amount you wanted before, but they really could only give this much. The hospital has already done its best to compensate, plus Selena, plus the ghost marriage fee. Isn't that enough?" He turned red in the face, covered my frozen hand with both hands, and pinched himself hard. At this time, I heard a notification sound from my phone. Turning my head, my face was completely and undisguisedly displayed in a live broadcast to thousands of people. The comments section was already flooded with insults. "So it's her. She killed her own brother, angered her mother into the hospital, and now she's arranging a ghost marriage for her brother. Anyone who marries her is unlucky. I heard that her husband came from her shameless faking an injury. Is she trying to kill her own husband now? This crazy woman is insane, right?" The number of people in the live broadcast room was increasing, and even many highly influential live streamers reposted it. In an instant, my personal information and home address were completely exposed. My impoverished background and Lucas's immense wealth became topics that netizens were curious to dig into. Soon, another wave of abuse filled the entire screen. I see, her brother used to be a thug, right? He even harassed an old woman in the street. Birds of a feather flock together. The sister is also not a good person, came from a vocational school, who knows? The comments quickly developed in an uncontrollable direction. They used AI to face swap and spread many indecent photos and videos, which attracted another large wave of onlookers. They quickly and accurately located my current location. In an instant, the car was surrounded by 3 layers of phones and media cameras. Miss Sue, can you explain the real reason why your father killed someone 10 years ago? Did your father really commit suicide out of guilt? Serafina, how much is it a night? I'll pay you double, can I have some fun? And the culprit of this incident, Lucas, received the sympathy and support of almost everyone. His and Selena's campus love story spread widely online. I, the legal wife, became a wicked, greedy, meddling, and promiscuous slut. The crowd, who were not getting a response, gradually became irritable. They smashed the glass frantically, roaring for me to come out. Broken glass cut my cheek. I turned to Lucas and questioned him. Is this really the result you wanted to see? Before he could answer, Selena burst out from behind the crowd, crying and frantically tugging at my car door. Serafina, if you have a problem, come at me, don't hurt Lucas. You've already gotten everything you wanted, what more do you want? Lucas feigned grief while secretly pressing the door release. Just as I was about to be dragged out of the car, my younger brother Alaric descended from the sunroof. Let's see who dares to touch my sister. For a few seconds, the world was silent. Lucas looked up, and his face turned ashen when he saw who it was. He got up in disbelief, and after confirming it was indeed my brother Alaric, he slumped back into his seat, muttering, "How is this possible? How?" He grabbed my shoulder and questioned me, demanding to know what was going on. I pointed upward. As you can see, my brother is alive and well, I don't need any compensation. Selena, looking at Alaric, tried to appear calm. Miss Sue, how many brothers do you have that we don't know about? The hospital clearly notified us that your brother was dead. Did you bribe the hospital to deceive us? Before I could speak, Alaric jumped down and stood in front of me, separating me from the crowd. Shut your mouth. How many sons my family has is none of your business. My sister only has me as her precious little brother. Who are you cursing to die, huh? You old witch. My brother was a natural troublemaker, and he came prepared, knowing I had been bullied online. He and his entire squad of dozens of people created posters, each as tall as 2 people, exposing Selena's dirty secrets. Sexy leopard print, seductive purple lace, and intimate photos of her with Lucas, superimposed on my wedding photos with Lucas. The media's cameras instantly changed direction. Finally, Alaric pulled out one photo and showed it to Lucas. Brother-in-law, you probably didn't expect this, did you? On the day of the mission, Lucas specifically switched shifts with me, otherwise, I would have been the one wearing that surfing suit. Brother-in-law, you really dote on me. Alaric emphasized the last 2 words heavily. It was as if they were crushing Lucas's heart. He snatched the photo, repeatedly running his fingers over it, trying to find a flaw. People at the scene realized something was wrong, and began to speculate wildly. This person is Serafina's brother, then who was the one who died? If Selena and Lucas were once so in love, why did he choose to marry Serafina in the end? If their backgrounds really have such a big difference as the internet rumors say, wouldn't it be easy for Lucas to abandon Serafina? So it was Selena's surfing suit that caused the death, not Serafina's fault. Alaric raised his hand and grinned. This stupid man tried to use a mistress to kill his brother-in-law and then spread rumors to smear his wife, but ended up killing his own younger brother. What a beast, brothers. The people who were frantically smashing my windows now turned to smashing Lucas's windows. Selena quickly jumped into the back seat, but was kicked out by me. Why are you hiding? You have a fearful moment too. Lucas, unable to find any flaws in the photo, slowly looked up and forced down his anger. Serafina, even if you want to take revenge on me, you shouldn't joke about Julian. He sent me a message yesterday saying he's returning home tonight. He never lies to me. Julian is so good to you, you shouldn't do this to him. Serafina, my patience with you has reached its limit. We're getting a divorce, and you're leaving with nothing. Alaric's appearance had planted a seed of unease in his heart. But he firmly believed that his brother wouldn't lie. So now the main task was to find a way to crush me with public opinion, and then investigate the truth of the matter. He would see his brother tonight, and he had to settle everything before that. I looked at the self-deceiving Lucas and played the recording. In the recording, Julian excitedly told me that he had successfully passed inspection using a fake identity. He was about to become a warrior protecting the Chun family, just like his brother. But in the end he clutched my hand weakly and said, "Send a message to my brother. Tell him I'm coming home tonight. I want to see him." I gripped the recorder tightly, saying each word carefully. "You really thought he was still abroad? He was almost able to stand in front of you in person." Pain filled Lucas's pale face. He took out his phone trembling and said, "No, Julian never lies to me, he wouldn't dare." Selena snatched Lucas's phone and pointed at me, scolding. "The forgery technology is so advanced now, who knows if you're the one playing tricks? Your dead brother can even be resurrected. What's impossible about this little thing?" Lucas suddenly woke up. "That's right. Serafina, you're playing me again. Lies upon lies, when are you going to stop? Julian has been weak since childhood, he couldn't even pass the Chun family's training, let alone fight in a war. Julian isn't dead." He looked at me, his eyes filled not with anger, but with urgency. He desperately wanted to get the answer he wanted to hear from me. I didn't speak, smiling at him. "So you arranged a ghost marriage without knowing who the corpse was? Are the deceased family members aware? Do you know this is illegal?" The focus of the topic was successfully shifted, and people began to think about all the suspicious points of the entire incident. "Mr. Chun, you said you cremated the body, but now you're sending it for a ghost marriage. Are the family members aware? Why can you freely dispose of an unidentified corpse? Selena doesn't have the relevant credentials. Why can she hold such an important position? You keep saying that the Chun family army is everything to you. Why do you treat the brothers who risk their lives for you like this?" The focus of the live stream also began to shift. Lucas's face was livid, but he forced it down due to the live broadcast. "This is all Serafina's doing. The identity of the deceased was falsely reported. We are currently verifying it, and the body is still in the morgue. It hasn't been moved." "Really? Then what is this? Does the corpse run away by itself?" I used the electronic screen that Alaric brought to play the morgue's video. The hospital's video was very clear, including the sound. Even a falling needle could be heard clearly. Lucas was powerful. He thought that by turning off the power and deleting the video, I would have no evidence, but he forgot. Ever since the first time I caught him cheating, I learned to bring a camera with me. Selena's hands and feet instantly turned cold. She tried to explain haphazardly. "I just wanted to check the injuries of the deceased again, so I would know what to do better next time. The lighting in that place wasn't very good, so I asked everyone to move it to a different location. Is there any problem with that?" "No problem." I smiled lightly and turned the volume up to the maximum. Selena's disdainful laughter and her bargaining with a man surrounded the square. I raised the loudspeaker and shouted at the crowd. "Who is it? Who is lying? Who is it? Who has a devil's heart? And who is it? Who is framing me here?" With the evidence conclusive and the story clear, people finally understood the truth of the matter and realized the extent of the horror. Even the body in the hospital can be stolen. They don't leave any memory for the family. A woman rushed out from the crowd and dragged Selena out of the car. "Bitch, was it you last time too, who tricked me into marrying my daughter's body to a 70-year-old man? My daughter cries to me in my dreams every day. You yourself are a mistress, and you arrange for my daughter to be a mistress too. I spit on you. You won't die a good death. I'll make you go to hell." More and more people gathered in the square, and even the police were blocked from entering. Selena was terrified. She cried and begged Lucas to help her. Lucas, on the other hand, was much calmer. With a straight face, he continued to give interviews to the media. "Selena does not meet the standards for logistics personnel. This is our mistake, and we will make adjustments later. He suddenly pointed at me. But Serafina was diagnosed with a mental illness several years ago. Her words cannot be trusted. Give me some time, everyone. I will definitely find out the truth of the matter, the true identity of the deceased, and give the Chen family army an explanation. Serafina, I advise you to stop in time. Don't let things continue to develop like this. Tell the truth sooner. You won't end up looking too bad. Selena immediately followed suit. The truth will always come out. I looked at their close-knit appearance and applauded. What a strong bond of affection. I hope you can really withstand the truth later. Just then, Chen Mother's car drove in and stopped in the middle of the crowd. Chen Mother slowly got out of the car with Mr. Han's support. She tremblingly raised her crutch and angrily pointed at Lucas. You beast, you're creating karma. Lucas was obviously dumbfounded by the arrival of the two. He stared for a while before hurrying out of the car. He ran to help Chen Mother, but was hit on the spine with a stick. You condone this fox spirit, causing the death of your own brother. And you're even indifferent to your own mother fainting at the hospital gate. Now you even want to harm your own wife for this fox spirit. Lucas, how could I have given birth to such a beast like you? Lucas staggered 2 steps, trembling like a sieve. He saw the death report that Mr. Han handed over, and the new Chen family army captain list that he almost saw. The one at the top was Julian's excited and expectant face. No. No. Julian is still abroad. He told me he was abroad. I stared at him coldly. Didn't you also think Mom was abroad? That day Mom was outside the hospital, almost beaten to death by your people. Lucas could no longer stand firm. He knelt straight on the ground, his voice trembling with pain. A shocking discussion erupted again in the crowd. The one who died was actually his own brother. He schemed for so long, and in the end, he joined hands with the mistress to kill his own brother, and almost beat his own mother to death. His wife is so innocent, she was framed by her husband and mistress. Luckily she's smart. The most pitiful is his own brother. What a great age. Lucas held his head and cried out in pain. Why was it Julian? Shouldn't it be you? It should be your brothers. He pointed at Alaric and roared. The truth was completely revealed. Alaric spread his hands. My fault. It's you. You all kept me in the dark. If I had known from the beginning that Julian was in the operating room, I would have saved him at all costs. Serafina, is it you? You want to take revenge on me? You want to use Julian to take revenge on me? Alaric reacted quickly and stood in front of me, taking a punch for me. Are you sick? You were the one who sent Selena to the stage. You were the one who didn't allow medical disputes. You were also the one who tacitly approved of Selena arranging a ghost marriage for your brother. What qualifications do you have to criticize others, huh? Brother-killing murderer? I had to show the evidence again. This signature should be yours. Your brother is lying inside. He admired you so much. He must have hoped that you could send him off on his final journey. You should go in and see him. Lucas, don't regret it. Lucas, you killed your own brother to promote this fox spirit, and now you want to deal with your own mother for her? Lucas then realized that I had been trying to dissuade him all along, but he was immersed in his determination for revenge and never listened. Chen Mother looked at the man kneeling in front of her, heartbroken. I forced you to marry Serafina back then, just hoping that you could let go of your obsession and stop doing stupid things. The Su family. They are our saviors. With one sentence, Lucas looked up in shock. How is that possible? I clearly watched. Yes. It was Mr. Su who finished off your father, but that's what your father asked for. He couldn't accept his defeat and the loss of his leg. He thought it was his shame. So he lived in pain day and night. He thanked Mr. Su for saving him, and also didn't want to leave because he loved you and Julian. But he was used to the rain of bullets. He had nightmares every night, and he would go crazy every time he woke up and saw his amputated leg. Until you and Julian grew up and I didn't have to worry too much. He just... Chen Mother fell into memories and choked up again. I helped her, and she slowly recovered. In this world, he only trusts Mr. Su. Your father had no regrets leaving this matter to him. Your father specifically instructed not to say it, for fear of causing trouble for Mr. Su. You child. How can you treat the Su family like this? You saw it back then, why didn't you tell me? When the hatred hidden for 10 years, the plan meticulously planned for many years, was overturned at the last moment. Lucas seemed to have been drained of all his strength. He slumped his shoulders and his eyes were vacant. The media grasped new developments, and the crowd rioted again. Selena, who had witnessed everything, had a bad premonition, and was about to run when she was dragged away by that woman. She tore off Selena's clothes on the street, straddled her, her eyes bloodshot, and wanted to kill her to avenge her daughter. The police finally squeezed in from behind and detained Lucas and Selena. Until he was taken away, Lucas was still kowtowing to Chin Mother and admitting his mistakes. Mom, I'm sorry, Julian. But the tragedy had already occurred. What was the use of regretting it? As the parties and victims, Alaric and I accepted the police's questioning. I handed over all the evidence of Selena's dirty deals that she had done privately over the years. And these transactions were all carried out under Lucas' protection. Because of hatred, Lucas' management of the Chun family army had long deviated from Chun father's original intention in creating it. Over the years, in order to strengthen the Chun family army, he had coaxed and forced poor families to sell their children to serve the Chun family army. They no longer fought for justice and peace, but for profit and power. Chun mother also discovered this, so she rushed back to the country in time, but received the tragic news of her second son's death. Selena, entrusted by Lucas' rival, approached him with her white moonlight status, and secretly obtained information and disintegrated the army's morale with her silly and sweet image. The Chun family army was indeed gradually becoming inferior to what it once was. Only an empty shell was supporting it, and there was no longer any shared heart. Selena took the opportunity to use the people of the Chun family to do dirty things with high risks and high returns. Julian's appearance disrupted her plan, so she confused the public and planned this farce. For me, for Lucas, for Selena. Selena was the beneficiary. It's just that Selena overestimated Lucas and underestimated me. After leaving the police station, Chin Mother's car was waiting outside. She grabbed my hand and was about to kneel down tremblingly. I hurriedly tried to help her, but couldn't win, so I had to kneel on the ground with her. Serafina, it's all my fault. I didn't discover Lucas' problem in time, and made you suffer so much, and almost caused the death of your family members. But I'm old and can't manage it anymore. Can you help me find Julian's body, even just a little bit? I couldn't bear it, and my nose felt sour. Don't worry, you have protected us all these years so that we have enough to eat and drink. I will definitely help you find Julian. I found the doctor in the surveillance video. His father died after ineffective rescue. He felt guilty about Julian, and told me the truth directly. Following his instructions, I found the address of the family. Their village was superstitious, and the body for the ghost marriage had to be soaked in medicinal water for 7 days and 7 nights before it could be buried. When I found it, Julian's body was as complete as it was on the first day. With the assistance of the police, we successfully brought Julian's body back, and buried him in Chin family tomb with great fanfare. I also applied to the media to publicize all the good deeds Julian had done. It could be considered fulfilling Julian's long-cherished wish. My brother was also officially incorporated into the military for his meritorious service in suppressing riots, and no one said he was a hoodlum anymore. My father's contributions to the country under an alias were also made public, and the unwarranted charges were completely removed. Everything was developing in a good direction. The day Lucas was to be executed, I went to see him. He had lost a lot of weight, his eyes were hollow and numb, the fierce spirit of his past was long gone. He told me he couldn't sleep for countless nights. He dreamt of Julian calling out to him, like when they were kids. He felt it was time to go find his younger brother. He asked me to take care of Julian's funeral arrangements, to take care of the elderly Chin mother. He looked up at me, his eyes full of pleading and expectation. I watched him quietly, neither agreeing nor refusing. Why should he die peacefully? I told him that Julian's body had been buried at the foot of a remote mountain. He would be bound in the underworld forever with a woman he didn't love. He might never forgive this older brother, never want to see him again, not even in hell. This arrogant man finally cried. The first time I had seen him cry in over 20 years. He kept muttering words of repentance, even though he knew it wouldn't lessen his sins. I also told him that the Chun family army had disbanded, the foundation his father built with his own hands, completely destroyed by him. Chun mother was utterly disappointed in this son, had returned to Norway, and would never come back to see him in this lifetime. Expressionless, I handed Lucas one sharp knife after another, just like he had treated me in the past. Maybe Julian didn't hate him, maybe they would meet in the afterlife. Maybe there were truly loyal people in the Chun family army, and it might be reorganized again later. Chun mother didn't really resent Lucas, she just couldn't bear to see her son die, so she asked me to take care of the funeral arrangements. But I didn't need Lucas to know the truth, I just needed him to leave with immense pain. That was enough. Having said everything, I didn't want to see Lucas's reaction, and turned to leave. I chose to continue working in logistics, constantly improving my knowledge, carefully checking every detail. I didn't want these warriors who fought for justice and peace to have tragedies repeated under my watch. Regarding my subordinates, I would never allow unprofessional individuals like Selena to appear in the team, even if it cost me my career. The day Chun mother passed away, I chose 2 warriors who looked the most like Lucas and Julian to visit her. She couldn't see clearly anymore, but I could tell she was happy. Even though she knew the people in front of her were fake, she showed a smile she hadn't had in years. That was enough. I wrapped everything up, life should move forward.